Time to adjourn our work session for today.
You have to start it first.
We should start this.
I did that last year.
We can adjourn, like, if we want to adjourn it, I'm out.
He wants to be
Peace.
he wants to be my time from the last meeting.
Now it
You
says 5 o'clock.
Try again.
Time to begin our work session for today, August 11th. We have a few things to discuss here. First one is the strategic goals. And I think
Yeah.
we will talk on that.
Sure. So, had the goals meeting and then preparation by Double Hall. They didn't, I requested the meeting notes and they said they don't do that. So I couldn't get the meeting notes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did add KPIs throughout. It was what me and AI could come up with. So I think we maybe just go through each one of them and see if that satisfies the council for how we're going to measure success over the next 2 years. So first thing, public health, safety, poor infrastructure. Most of the KPIs are based off of key actions, so continued implementation of the road improvement plan should have been capital improvement plan, but PACER rating is a good indicator for that. PACER rating is a standard Michigan uses to describe our roads. So I think if we're just making incremental progress on that, my personal goal is to resurface 80% of the roads in 5 years. But I don't want to write that down and tell people we're going to do that. But that's what I want to do. The roads that we're responsible for.
My comment related to this is that there weren't a lot of identifiable, quantifiable goals there. And so I hope we can come up with something that's more measurable.
Yeah, and that's what the key performance indicators are for. So. All right, the next one. So in the capital improvement plan, the previous ones, there were like projects listed with dates and amounts, but they just kind of came and went. So I think we should just use that and then work toward exactly what's in the capital improvement plan, which I do need to update ours because we have changed some of the things in it, but I think just making sure we're sticking to our plan of that other plan is how we measure it. They were just previously came and went. I don't really know how else to explain that.
And it also puts eyes on it more frequently. If you're working on it, as you're working on it, you're doing updates and you're meeting those timelines, and it's not just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, and I'll work on updating it, and say like September, October, I'll have a working copy for council to consider, and that'll be the standard that I work toward, the city works toward to keep on keeping on.
Okay.
Projects completed on time and within budget. Within budget, I can help. On time is the hard part.
Some things aren't in your own control.
Yeah, I've learned that. So that's why I typically short on promises. I'd rather just let the work speak for itself. But I think that's a good goal, at least one to keep in mind that this is what we're working toward. I think if we don't put a goal, it just won't be considered as often as it might if we stick it in here. Any questions on those or anything that comes to mind that we could possibly add?
Maybe not optimistic or whatever the right term is, but 90% of the time that's a pretty high goal. Are we good with that? I mean, is that I don't want to set up for failure, but I also don't want to put extra burden, right? Because you said, like you said, the time on time is largely not within our control, other than we're making the plan and we're hiring the people and all of that stuff. But if you're good with 90, we'll roll with it.
We can always tweak that.
Yeah.
Have some grace when
That
when it's not met.
asterisk next to it,
Right.
except that
All right, I did it. So next one, eliminate lead drinking water risks. There is a state mandate, 2037. We have to be completely changed out. I didn't have a good idea of what success looks like year to year. We were doing, I think, on average 40 service lines a year, but with Muskegon, Livingston, we'll knock out 105. Is there a goal in mind, or should I just take a swag?
as far as I'm concerned, keep plugging away at it because we know what the end date is. We know what we get there before they're great.
You can eliminate that huge chunk between Muskegon and Livingston and then keep up with the 40 or so. It probably will be done before 37, not knowing the total number, which
Yeah.
I saw in a previous email I tried to pull out, but
We have 100% in there in 2028, and that doesn't sound reasonable. I think that'd be a good place for the 90%.
Or is that the 100% of 40 lines?
Well, that's so we're always in drinking water compliance by state, like we're required to be.
Oh, regulatory.
Yeah, it's regulatory, not
Okay.
necessarily this specific mandate of all that service lines.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we never want to get out of regulatory compliance. So long as Don and a couple others maintain their certifications and they're up with the system, that's 100% achievable. So the second one down, percentage of known lead service lines eliminated. We have a really good idea of how many we have and where they're located, but we're still using drinking water asset management grant money to identify ones we're unsure about. You'll see on accounts payable, whenever there's something that's DWAM, it's paid for through a state grant. We have to use all that money by September 15th. We applied for an extension, and we wanted December, but it was extended till September 15th. So we're using a lot of that money to inspect our wells and continue to identify any other service lines. But while the wells are drained and they're doing an inspection, that's the time that we spend our money to change out anything we need to. So we're using DWAM money for the inspection while it's all broken down and not in use. That's when we spend our money to fix it. It saves us quite a bit of money, between 20 and 30 grand each time. So we're making best use of it. We're hurrying. Money's going to expire.
On this, on lead drinking, I just remember back when we started this, when Scott was running things, I thought he contracted with Shai to do it. And I thought it was, it was the same thing, that anytime there was a road project going on and a line needed replaced, it wouldn't get replaced at that time. But above and beyond that, I thought the minimum was like, his idea, the minimum was 10 on top of that.
Yeah.
But that isn't gonna get you.
No.
I don't know how many households there are in the city.
Off the top of my head, I'm drawing blank because I need that information right now.
But 10 a year isn't gonna get
No, not at all, and that's why I want to up it to quite a bit more. The water account has about 1.8 million in it, so we can afford to do more.
I know he had I thought he had something set up also where if for some reason somebody had to have theirs replaced,
Yeah,
they got reimbursed for it.
yeah, you can see on our,
If it was a lead line.
on the chart or the map that we have of, like, it's dot based, you'll see a random blue dot in the middle of a neighborhood that's all red. And that's what that is. If work had to be done for whatever reason, it was swapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I'll get the exact number of what we can afford and what will have us in compliance by 2037, if everyone's good with that. Just a year buffer.
And like you said, if we knock some out because of a road project, great, we're time ahead, so.
Well, in the last, what, 3 or 4 years, I mean, we've done division, we've done most of the years, we get warmer. So anything that needed done then got done in that part, in that project. So there should have been a lot that got knocked out right there. And then with doing
Holden Road, or not, Wilshire Drive.
yeah, and when we got, then we're doing Livingston, we're doing Muskegon Avenue, is it
Yeah.
Muskegon?
Muskegon.
Yeah.
And those are full reconstruction, like when we're doing like Alice Street with Millen, or, I don't know if it's Crush and Reach, that's Millen. We don't break open everything, so the timing is for when we have to do a full reconstruction.
Yeah.
Like there's still a couple over the north end we need to do, but they don't require us going and breaking up new asphalt. Okay, I'll pare this down to whatever we have to do by 2037. Go from there. That makes sense. Okay, the next one, strengthen fiscal sustainability. So align department budgets with strategic priorities, pursue grants and other funding opportunities, maintain responsible fund balance policies, coordinate capital improvement planning across all departments. So general fund balance, maintain, the targets to maintain adopted fund balance policy. Ours is 35%. So what that means, anyone who may not know, is we have our expenses that we budget for. Let's just say it's $2 million. We have to have 35% of that in the bank at all times.
I'm still wondering why that one's in the, that just seems like you'd be doing it anyway. That's just responsible financial management.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not like an additional strategic priority that we're aiming for. I mean, I'm assuming we're there and we'll keep being there. So if we wanted to shorten the list and focus a little more intently, I would drop that one.
It's a filler.
That's even lower than, we were at 40%, weren't we?
I think
I think it's
30,
Didn't Scott just
30,
lower that
30
like a
something.
year ago or 2 years ago?
35 is what I remember, but it could be higher prior to that.
Well, there are some things on the agenda today that, let's see, the charter amendment, this ties in with that as well. That we can get into new fiscal policy, or discuss it at least. Because we have a somewhat outdated, it's outdated in the charter, and I wanted to redraft our procurement policy as a city anyway, and present it to all of you for adoption. I don't need this one.
Maybe updating policies might make sense, but just just doing the regular financial management is.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're already bound by law to do this one.
Yeah.
I can remove it if that's the
same with the filler.
council's desire.
Sounds
It'd
great.
be fine if we did.
This still comes from that general document they sent us after we made specific goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like corporate speak.
And now we can't see
And
what
now,
those
and now
are.
we can't see what the goals were that we took the time to do, which I truly enjoy. Let's make goals again.
Can we buy it?
Yeah,
They're holding our notes hostage.
that's what I was thinking. We'll pay a little extra. They have to have it.
How
They
much
had to
for
have-
my notes?
They have to have had it. Maybe we're just wondering if we want it bad enough, we'll offer to
Right.
pay for it.
Golly.
We don't.
We'll come up and do another one.
Did anybody take pictures of the whiteboards?
Well, no, because it was written down. They were gonna put it
I
on video.
know,
I was
I
like,
might have actually.
Is that
Did I take
CatchMark
pictures?
video?
Did
Did
they-
you
have it.
record?
I don't think it was,
No,
when was that date? Do we remember?
That would have helped.
it was, it might have been in April.
I'll have to go back. I might have taken some pictures of the
I mean, there were
boards.
really good notes.
I know.
Yeah, they were, absolutely. I didn't
Goals.
think getting them would be a big deal.
I think we should ask if we can buy them.
Ask how much.
And do it on speaker when we're all sitting there so we can hear
Right.
it and laugh. Okay, so that was
They
in.
have to have taken pictures.
They don't have them. Maybe they lost
That's
them.
probably,
that
that's
could
more
be.
likely.
Yeah.
They just throw it away.
Once they got the document that they gave us, yeah. Yeah, we're
That they also gave the 3 other
Yeah.
municipalities.
Mhm.
All right, I didn't put a update on. I didn't do a KPI for the next one. Update master plan. That just either you do it or you don't.
That seems another, like an action versus a priority. I mean, we're gonna do it, so.
Yeah, so I'm actually meeting tomorrow with a lady from state of Michigan because I put in for that grant for Michigan Coastal Management Program, $150,000 grant, and I asked for it to rewrite our master plan. It just has to have a coastal nexus to it, and we have a bunch of parks that are all on the coast, so I think we're a good fit for it. So we'll do that so long as I get that info, or get that money.
I would just, that's to me not a priority, it's an action you take to get to somewhere, so. I mean, I just think having fewer that are more focused would be better, and that one could just, I mean, it's gonna happen anyway.
Once it's done, we just strike it out.
Yeah, but it's not really a priority, I mean, you do that every 5 years, that's another.
Well, we haven't though.
This one is
I mean, maybe.
We have
it-
at times, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not,
Pretty
it hasn't
minimal.
been a focus, so maybe.
2015 is our.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe
I
we
was,
keep
I was
it.
on the committee when we did that, so.
Yeah, so maybe because it's not been,
But it has been
Hard.
updated since then, every 5 years, but they've been minor updates.
yeah, okay.
But
Well,
it has been.
it seems like it's a big deal that we haven't really put a focus on that I can see. I mean, maybe there's been some little updates, but nothing where we've called for input from the public and that kind of thing, which is what we're talking about. I'm okay if it's not on here as a priority, but I think
I think it's a support under something. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me, but it just seems like it would fall under something else, like to achieve the vision. It's an action to get there somewhere. You know, I mean, if we pick these priorities, then the master plan would help us, you know, it would at least encompass the short-term priorities. It doesn't matter that much, it's just.
Well, I think of the resident reading this, what is city working on, and it's in there. I think it's good to let people know that at some point we are going to ask for their opinion on specifically parks. And I'm good either way. Either way, I've got to do it. So whether it's in here or not, I guess we'll just move on. Stewart Parks and Community Assets. I did make KPIs, they're on the next page. And this is like a plan that references another plan. Parks and Rec plan implementation, ours is for 2023, so I've got to do it for the next 2 years anyway. And I'm really hoping we get that grant from Michigan because I would like to hire somebody to engage the public on what they desire each park to look like.
That was one of our big goals, was the parks.
Yeah.
Because we talked about one park, next park, like, kind of in the next couple where you have the walkability, connectivity, tourism, downtown vitality, parks, that was all kind of our focus for that whole meeting. So
Yeah, aside from.
this is great. This is actually much more specific than all of their general, speak.
Yeah, it was infrastructure and like almost amenities or like.
We call beautification, we had a really good word.
Well, I think we,
I think with beautification, I think is what it was.
That might have
Beautification,
been.
like we had a really,
yeah.
like we wanted to improve
Mhm.
after the infrastructure, like, let's do something to, someone specifically mentioned D Park and then this park and,
Yeah.
well, and starting at once, so.
I thought there was a little more of a focus on making the city great for the people who live here.
Yeah, quality of life
Yeah.
enhancements
Yeah.
and
Rather
beautification.
than a little bit more of a focus on tourism. Your tourism is important for our businesses, but I'd like to, we have people who live here, and I think we should be focused on how do we make it better for them.
The walkability and connectivity is
Yeah,
great.
that's a good one, but I'd like to see the resident focus rise up. You know, what are we doing for people who live here? But the beautification, yeah, make it a great place to live.
A destination.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That's your favorite thing.
Destination for people to
People
live, to
have-
move to bring their kids to, and all that stuff. It's all
To
included.
live.
It's ever encompassing.
People have always said that there's a city on the lake shore that we don't want to duplicate, and I'm not gonna name that city. It's a nice place to visit, but it's not like us.
But you have to have people backfilling the people that are leaving and passing away as well, so.
No, I-
Turnover for the parks.
Yeah, I just like to focus on residents and tourists kind of at secondary, just come and bring us money, so.
They pretty much go hand in hand. Do you think?
I've met several tourists, people that have been tourists, especially down at the marina that are now full-time residents.
I have a handful that have stayed with us and love the area and now they're residents. It
I
happens all
was,
the time.
I was
It
being
happens to me.
facetious, I'm sorry about that, yeah. I was speaking kind of facetiously. I
Everybody's
like
saying-
tourists as well, and we certainly have our summer folk on the lake, around the lake, it's not just Whitehall, but I just really want to, I've lived here my whole life, I'd like to see a little bit more emphasis on what are we doing for people who live here? And then of course our businesses need to thrive, and the summers are when they make their money.
Well, the outcome of this one remains like the same. I didn't mess with the outcomes, which is provide safe, attractive, and well-maintained parks and public spaces that enhance community pride and quality of life.
That's a great outcome.
Yeah, and then, again, KPIs, how do we measure that?
It's very qualitative. Well, we could do surveys once in a while. And that's one way to measure, to some degree, what are people thinking about the parks or.
Well, I mean, safe and well-maintained is pretty,
And
you can measure that.
that's visible, yeah.
Yeah, and attractive is gonna be qualitative, but, the safe and well-maintained, I mean, those are both very important, and I think, you've already started with, having Beth as the having oversight over all of those and figuring out what things, so there's some measure around the activities that Beth is working on that we could probably put in here that would be very measurable. So I think, I think she told me that she was going to each park to kind of do an assessment. So complete the assessment of current state is a measurable task, and then what's the next piece that needs to, once the evaluations are done, what are the activities that need to happen?
What are the major and minor things that need to happen?
Right, so maybe that's an avenue that we could.
You said that same thing at the meeting, and it was great then too. Like, I don't know if you can tell my mild annoyance with not having the goals back.
No.
But you said that before, and it's exactly what we like, we're like, that's great. This is like a great way to do it. It's an easy way to measure it. Like, here's the list.
You know, it wouldn't hurt to start with a visual baseline of each of the parks,
Mhm.
take
And
pictures.
I think that's what Beth is working on.
Yeah, yeah, and then be able to, you know, to show the before and after.
And would you know if Beth has some kind of a report on,
She's making an Excel spreadsheet for each park,
okay,
and like things that are hazardous, we we remedy a lot faster. Like she's pointing out some things like, oh, geez, I never saw that. So, just like picnic table maintenance, that one tree that was over the sound making thing in Spencer Park. The wood is terrible on Norman Park. So what I'm having, I actually just assigned it to Don to assign Jason to go park to park and just clean it up and do whatever maintenance needs to be done. He's when he gets a specific job to do, it's gonna be done really well. Like we put him on the ADA swing, and that thing, there's no plants growing around that to hide it ever again now. So
Well, those kinds of top line pieces are the measurable, so you're talking about the details of the thing. So overall maintenance, what are those details? And make sure, maybe there's a goal of nothing identified stays untended to for more than a week. You know, those kinds of timeline measurables are,
And one of the
Good
things
pieces.
we also we were discussing this is that we don't have a playground inspector. There's actually a certification for it, so Don's going to start working on that, which would be good. You know, just that training, things that we don't even know we're supposed to be doing could be happening.
mhm. So what do we put in our strategic plan for those goals? I think we have to start, and the start is those assessments that Beth is working on.
Yeah,
So
so
those
complete
assessments,
assessment
give
of
them a
budget.
timeline, and then
Exactly.
actionables determined by a certain next timeline, and then are those
Because those
met?
go in the master plan as well.
Right.
And then we could break it down by park that way. And just, like I said, do a major, minor pick list, and if we get small amounts or big amounts, we can just start knocking them off.
Oh, I actually had a resident, and it just reminds me it's topical. I didn't really prepare for this, but he asked me if he put up money and then his employer matched him, would the city put up or match them to put better equipment at G Park? I'm like, well, you're starting off on the right foot, and you're trying to meet us halfway. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there to council. Just it could be coming down the pipe.
10 days ago, maybe a little longer.
And it went to
I
my
would say
thing,
we got it
so,
back in July.
yeah, that's.
I
Last
don't
couple days in July.
know how that could have happened, but.
Okay,
But, yeah,
just curious.
Yeah. The last thing I had is that tomorrow there is a meeting, it's, over celery flats and what's going on with that, and it's an open house type meeting at the library between 3 and 6, so I think anybody can go to that and ask questions about what's going on with the celery flats, where they are with that schedule. Next up is public comment. Anybody wish to speak today? Okay. There is no old business on here. We have 2 items under new business. The first one is Resolution 2640, which is the well pump generator installation.
I move to approve resolution 2640, the well pump generator installation.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on that or questions?
This is an instance of DWAM covering the taking it all out, and we just have to pay for putting it in. They stripped the pump down and did a lot of work for us, so we're saving money by doing it this way.
That's good. If there's nothing else, we need a roll call on that.
Mahan,
Yes.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Kabala,
Yes.
Squires,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Seymour.
Yes. The last item for us is the Construction Board of Appeals issue, and I don't know, we don't have a resolution listed. I don't know
Yes.
exactly what we're supposed to do with this.
Yeah, the agenda report just outlines what we're looking for in the appointments. You all should have this right there with you. So we're looking to appoint actually just reappoint the Brad Van Bergen, Bill Kenny, and Bill Chapel.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion there? I guess we might as well do a roll call on that.
Okay, Holmstrom,
Yes.
Squires,
Yes.
Kabala,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Mahan,
Yes.
Hildebrand,
Yes.
Zemer.
Yes. Next up is public comment again. Anybody have anything to say at this point? Come on up.
Council members of the audience, my name's James Bunt. I live in a corner of Warner and Fulton, in the yellow house across from Legion. I'm kind of a new kid on the block, my 3rd summer here. And I appreciate the comments that you made about Warner. I understand it is I think maybe the only thoroughfare between Colby and White Lake Drive in the city. They go straight through. If not, I mean, like I say, I'm new. But regardless of that, you know, understand the truck traffic and everything that goes on. And before I forget, I just want to maybe bring to your attention that there's quite a bit of pedestrian traffic in that area. There's some community homes, and of course, they head to the Dollar General. And then surprisingly, the sidewalks are used for the other. Of course, across the Colby, aware of that. Across the Werner, that's getting kind of hard to, considering the use of the residential and the construction that's going on. And you know, granted, homes down there, industrial park down there, it's gonna be used. I guess I'm curious, what is the speed limit on Warner as you turn south on
25.
Until Johnston?
No, it's 25 to Alice,
Yes.
and then it's 30 the rest of it.
Well,
Well,
To Benson.
Benson turns 35.
yeah.
That has been my observation. However, I noticed that, and I requested and talked with the police department, and I noticed that early this spring, that the officers were patrolling, the morning, a little more heavily than they had been, and even Colby, but I do see now that it's kind of lacked off a little bit. And, you know, they're busy with other things besides that. But, I also noticed that if, my memory serves me correctly, that there's been some speed limit signs placed throughout the city with flashing speed signs.
Yes.
And when the traffic comes around off of Colby heading south, I mean, they turn it on. And they don't shut it off until they get past and up toward the hill by the school. I really like it. If you could see your way, put a speed limit sign, both northbound and southbound. The closer to Colby, the better. But there's 2 blocks there, and I've talked to some of the neighbors there. I'm sure if you did, I gotta go, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Welcome to town.
Anyone else? And if not, God bless.